Hello you, have you ever wanted to spend $26,000 to go on a ship to Antarctica? Yes? No? What did you say? I don't know, can you tell me what you said? Could you say it in the comments? I can't predict what you're gonna do. Well, regardless of whatever the hell you said, I think today's video is gonna be of interest to you. Alright, so this was a pretty interesting rabbit hole to go through. One of you loyal viewers has tagged me in this video by this creator right here, Dandy Demon.
So there's this cruise to Antarctica, and it costs $10,000 to $20,000
per person. I think she's gonna say per person. How did I even know that? I'm some sort of genius or something.
It's a luxury cruise line, but like a lot of older people take this and like blow their entire life savings on it because they want to go to Antarctica. It's like totally a bucket list item for them. But the whole point is going to Antarctica. So there's this couple and they document the entire thing because they're like travel vloggers and they're super stoked to go to Antarctica.
They love going to Antarctica.
Go to Antarctica. They blow $32,000 total.
$32,000. We found a different number. I'll go over it. I'll go over the number.
$32,000. That's a whole lot of money. Get this. The cruise stops in Antarctica and they don't let them get off the boat. They just have to look at Antarctica from the boat.
They got c***ed. That's such a stupid joke. They couldn't even go to Antarctica. They got Antarctica. They had to sit there on a boat and look at other people as they were going to Antarctica, as they were going inside Antarctica, but they couldn't touch Antarctica themselves. Alright, so this was a video that kind of kicked things off, and then my other researcher and I, but mainly her, we kind of went through this together. And it was very interesting because so much of the stuff about what happened with this, about this cruise in general, has been either deleted or I guess just deleted. You don't really have a lot of, or it's just up. But we have a few web archives here, and I was like, what happened? Did they actually get screwed out of their money? Did they have any knowledge that they might get Antarctica? All right, so the video in question that was mentioned here was uploaded by Justin and Jess. Now, while the video, I'm pretty sure, was taken down, we found an article detailing their experience. They spent $26,000, so it's between 10 to 20 per person. This is within the range. We found an archive. I'm gonna stop saying we. Maya found, she tells me the things that she's kind of finding, and then I'm like, oh, let's look into this direction or that direction. But she found this archive. She said that she's 90% sure that this is the advert for the thing, based on what the couple said in the video, but it could be a different one later in the year, but it's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same ad for the same sort of experience. So here we see Atlas. This is the company, the cruise company. Journey to the End of the World. It's a good book title. That should be a book title. Grand Antarctic Holiday. Take the ultimate holiday journey delving deep into Antarctica, South Georgia, and Port Stanley into the Falkland Islands. This expedition sets a cruise for wildlife lovers with awe-inspiring animals from fur seals to chinstrap and a bunch of penguins and shores and waters. Alright, so there is the promise that you're gonna go deep into Antarctica. Does it say that you're gonna step foot there? Does it, you know, we'll see. Amid the Antarctic Sound, possible landings may take you to volcanic landscapes, home to some of the largest colonies of a bunch of penguins in Antarctica. In South Georgia, the most mesmerizing sight is that of the king penguins. Lots of penguins. This is a cruise for penguin lovers. This is more than anything. Large colonies as far as the eyes can see. The fully matured ones stand regal over their brethren. Well, alright, blah, blah, blah. So this is potentially the specific one to do with that cruise. Exploring the Antarctic Sound, Captain's Choice. Imagine, okay, here we go. Imagine setting foot. So a foot is to be set. Imagine setting foot on the ethereal landscape of the Antarctic Sound where the whispers of ancient glaciers echo. It's a land of stark contrast known for let's skip around here. Icebergs, blue waters, and abundant wildlife. It's a place where the horizon seems endless and time stands still, and you're gonna look at it from far away while you're standing on the ship. Each landing becomes a thrilling chapter in your adventure book. Step ashore, you're stepping ashore onto remote ice beaches, while seals lounge nonchalantly on drifting. Okay, well, it says that you're gonna step on it. Your captain will expertly navigate ice flows, icebergs, and changing sea and weather conditions to ensure you experience the most from your expedition. Each day is a new adventure filled with a spontaneous sense of exploration as your captain works with your expedition team to determine possible shore landings. There is the mention of the word possible here, meaning there is a possibility that I guess it won't happen. All itinerary routes serve as examples and are subject to change based on current conditions, prioritizing the safety and optimal expedition experience for all guests. Do they really state very clearly that there's a chance you won't get on it? No, not incredibly clearly. I'm trying to be careful here, and I'll tell you why in a bit with my wording. All right, so the video's been taken down. But this is an article about it, so let's have a little bit of a look. Atlas Ocean Voyages accused of scamming passengers on 26K Antarctica cruise. So the question here is, these two took the video down. Why is that? Was there a lawsuit mentioned in the air? Should I be careful with my wording? I think so. Let's be very careful here. So I'll state, in the last thing, I didn't see the mention that it might be cancelled, but maybe I missed it. Maybe, genuinely maybe. So take everything with the word allegedly drifting above your head. So a few key points from this article. Point number one, the guests learned when they first boarded the ship that the itinerary had been changed to cut a day in Antarctica and add another day in Falkland Islands. So that's change number one. Again, it states that there is the possibility of change. But that's a big one, I guess. They weren't sure why that happened, as there was another ship that left on exactly the same day as them and headed straight to Antarctica like they were supposed to. That's point number two, what I just said. Point number three, each trip they had on land in South Georgia was around 45 minutes long when they were told, or they were led to believe, potentially, allegedly, that it should have been 2 to 3 hours. Now, another thing that's stated in the article is that you have to book and reserve places for people to be able to go off in Antarctica. We'll go over it in a bit. There is like a limit to how many people can be on Antarctica at the same time. And hearing about the itinerary change with the sort of pushback in a day, passengers were worried that that might mean that they won't be able to keep those reservations. Now, when the passengers actually arrived into Antarctic waters, they just ended up sailing past the islands and didn't actually get off in any of them. They were told they couldn't get off because of weather, but then they saw another ship let their passengers get off at the same time. So, you know, weird things happening here. They were Antarctic cucked. Should I censor the word cuck? I say it so many times in this video, and I am afraid of age restriction, because you know, a video that this word being said that much in a video, that's but there are UK places with the word cuck, you know. I might be talking about is there a cuck street? There is Cuckold's Point. When I say that word, I refer to this, okay? I refer to this, Cuckold's Point. YouTube, okay? Don't demonetize. I'm referring to Cuckold's Point. And the third day, the passengers were called into an emergency meeting, and then they told them that they're gonna be heading back to Argentina early because of weather, and a captain didn't want to continue the cruise if the guests couldn't get off the ship. People were outraged about this. They were screaming, they were crying. That's me adding that info for legal reasons. I should state that. So then they turned the cruise back to Antarctica, but only did a Zodiac cruise, which is like a smaller boat, and they didn't actually get on shore. And when they did turn back, the bad weather was nowhere to be found. Now, with all of this, with not being able to actually get offshore and deal with this, did they get a refund? You know, they were told they'll be able to go on Antarctica. They didn't set out with the goal of being Antarctica. Well, no. They were offered like a 15% refund, which this cost 26K. This couple paid 26K, getting a 15% refund, and still you're out with do the math. You're still this much in the red for an experience in which you weren't able to see Antarctica. That's pretty bad. You know, this number is a lot. So since then, no updates. The couple took the video down. Was it a sort of situation where they were told, we'll give you a full refund if you do this, if you get rid of this video because it looks bad? Maybe. I don't know. I'm just speculating. But I don't think they just delete it without any sort of contact, just out of the blue. Surely there was maybe something here. I don't know. Surely there was maybe something here is a funny sentence. Maybe something happened. We don't know. It's just speculation, Your Honor. All right, luckily though, Reddit is on the case. So the video was posted in r/videos before it was taken down. Definitely sounds like they're not making all the conditions and caveats known to the point of unethical practice. I think that's essentially the cruise industry motto. Absolutely wild they did this, especially pouring salt in the wounds, watching other cruisers have a blast and they are just stranded. I'm not gonna say the word again. There were some people that theorized that because there's so many restrictions on how people can set foot on land in Antarctica and like what specific times, that maybe the cruise just didn't reserve the space needed. Again, maybe connected to the worry that was stated by the cruisers that because they moved the dates, maybe their reservations weren't kept. There's a whole thing where like you can't have more than 100 passengers at any time on one landing site. And generally boats with over 500 passengers aren't allowed to dock in a specific landing site at a time because of a bunch of environmental stuff that come with, you know, being in Antarctica. Then there's a separate channel who also made a video about a year ago detailing quite a similar experience. This is from a channel called Eat, Sleep, Cruise. You know, it's pretty much this channel at this point. I eat, I sleep, I talk about a cruise. I don't actually go on any. But there is something fascinating about them, isn't there? I mean, I made a feature film-length video for my main channel talking about the 9-month cruise, and here I am back again talking about more cruises. I can't get enough. Since I'm mainly just talking about other people going on a cruise, maybe on some level I'm the cuckold's point. Alright, let me just shut the up and talk about this. So this chapter is called The Itinerary and Ports of Call Are Constantly Changing.
There are limitations on how many individuals can go ashore or how many individuals can be visiting at one time. And the maximum number allowed ashore is 100 people.
That's what I was saying. Antarctica is beautiful, by the way. It's kind of nice. All the penguins.
During our cruise, we successfully made 5 of the 8 stops, right? Those morning stop and afternoon stops for those 4 days.
So this person actually got to go and stand on Antarctic land.
We ended up with 3 landings and 2 Zodiac rides. So even if your expedition cruise itinerary includes ports of call, you can basically toss that schedule aside, as odds are it will change and can change frequently. During our cruise, there were multiple alterations to the planned ports, and even some of those were missed due to weather or sea conditions.
I mean, I guess to be fair to Atlas Voyages, the situation that they described on the website, this isn't the same situation as the 2 vloggers who, you know, didn't set foot entirely. Then Maya also found this thing from TripAdvisor, warning about Atlas Ocean Voyages. This thing is long as hell. I'll give you the gist of this, the general rundown. Their communication breakdowns, operational failures, lack of accountability, and struggle for a reimbursement still ongoing turned our dream trip into a chaotic ordeal. To this day, we haven't received a clear and official explanation regarding the ship's issues directly from Atlas. Unless Atlas Voyages seriously steps up their game, better communication service, and compensation policies, my trust in them is shattered. For an unpredictable expedition like an Antarctica cruise, where substantial investment is required, I strongly recommend opting for a company known for reliability and dedicated customer support. Yes, things happen while traveling, but what made this experience horrible is how they handled everything afterwards. Okay, so from Buenos Aires, up until boarding the ship, there were minor hiccups, but overall everything was fine. At midnight, we hit the Drake Passage. Do you guys remember my sea shanty? I sing about the Drake Passage in the sea shanty.
God had a plan, a body of water. Drake's Passage lay mighty weather afoot.
We hit the Drake Passage, which was as smooth as Drake Lake. Chatting with staff before heading to bed, we learned of the storm prior to our sailing, which had up to 40 feet waves, tossing crew members from their beds. One crew member said it was the worst she'd seen in her 2 years of working there. Day 2, all was well until we woke up at 8:30 a.m. to an announcement that we had turned around. So on the second day, they've turned around already. Atlas Ocean Voyages told us about boat inspection delays delays and vague promises of more info the next day, the speculation among the passengers was that the ship might have sustained damage from the intense waves from the preceding voyage. And this issue only came to light during our expedition. Around 11 p.m. we noticed a discreet transfer of passengers to another Atlas ship. It seemed they prioritized moving those in suites from the World Voyager to the World Traveler. While we understood why, the lack of transparency to the rest of the passengers was in a bad taste, while most passengers were still left in the dark. Day 3, Atlas delayed the return to the ship until 4 p.m. Upon badging back in, we were summoned to the Atlas Lounge. David from Atlas presented a proposition. If you really want to make it to Antarctica, would you like to go on the Nat Geo ship? So he brought them in and he was like, okay, if you want to go to Antarctica, you gotta go to this ship. It's leaving now. You gotta let me know right now. And if, it's gonna come back in 10 days later, but you gotta let me know right now or I'm giving a slot to somebody else. If you go, you will not receive any reimbursement for the issues experienced on the Atlas World Voyager ship. On this new ship, there are other things that they needed to go on, like a plane or some shit like that. And then they found out that that wasn't part, like they need to pay extra for that after they were already having troubles with the last ship. At the end, Atlas offered a 50% discount, not on the thing that happened to them, but on any future sailing. So, interesting stuff, guys. I'm not going to Antarctica on a cruise ship anytime soon. That can't be good for the penguins. I don't know. I actually don't know. I'm assuming a cruise ship arriving to Antarctica is not a net positive for the environment. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the whatever sort of question I asked at the beginning of this video. Like and subscribe to turn me into an iceberg. Lettuce.